Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The host of the Mindless Midnight Show would like to welcome you to their latest episode full of late-night humor as we explore just about anything with our very special guest. Without further ado, here are your hosts, Nick and Josh.
Warning, some of the contents of this podcast may be found offensive. This podcast is not for the weak, lack of experience, and common sense, including children, unless they have been given permission.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Mindless Midnight Show. Our special guest today is Thomas Yu. He's the host of the You Dive Deep podcast, and we are going to get into that as well as a lot of other shit. He's been doing stand-up comedy. He's been at improv troupes. He's put himself out there quite a bit, and I'm excited to get into that. Firstly, how are you today, Mr. Thomas? Tommy, since we're best friends now, I'm going to call you Tommy.
You've earned that right already from like the
Boom.
brief 10-minute intro we had. I was like, these are my soulmates. This is,
Dude.
they get Tommy now, not Thomas, but no, I'm doing fine actually. I know we had this plan for, I think a couple of days. I actually ran into my boy right up here and then was able to kind of connect with him through Discord because I'm new to podcasting and, he's awesome. He reached out to me. He's like, oh, yo, I'll take you under my wing. I'll show you the world. And I'm like, Daddy, please take me. Show me.
His shitty little decrepit wing.
Yeah, my wings are like made of bone. There's no like anything to grab air. It's just fucking free falling. Falling in style, as Buzz would say.
He just lured me like Hansel and Gretel. He's like, I'm just going to act like I'm a professional. So this Thomas kid just looks up to me. Oh,
we
man.
make it look good. We make it look good for sure. Awesome. So starting off, it's really exciting to me that you do stand-up. Because the thought of me doing stand-up, I'm not saying I wouldn't be good at it. I'm just saying I think I might like shit myself on stage.
No.
And no, what do you mean no? You don't think
I've listened
so?
to like a handful of you guys' podcasts, and honestly, stand-up is literally like when I tell people I've done stand-up a lot and stuff like that, everyone's like, oh, wow, you're like a different breed. I'm like, joke's on you, dude. I just like to talk, and I have such low self-awareness that when I'm up there, because stand-up is essentially just storytelling. That's all it is. Like you're just up there doing a monologue. And so as long as you think of a story like, okay, now let me punch it up and exaggerate some things and kaboom, I'm done. And it's honestly a fun time. So, but when I was listening to you guys talk, I'm like, all right, these are two really good personalities. And when he first mentioned that you guys were like comedians, but like self-titled comedians, at first I was like, oh, they do stand up, like that comedy background that I'm used to. But like after hearing you guys talk, I wouldn't know any different. Like if you guys were like, oh yeah, I did stand up a bunch of times too, I'd be like, oh yeah, I mean, that checks out. I heard you guys are funny. So you saying like self-deprecating, like, oh, I can't do it. The only reason you probably feel like you can't do it is just because you haven't like pushed yourself to do it. But as soon as you start doing it, you're like, oh wow, that was like the thought of doing it is a lot scarier than actually doing it, if that makes sense.
That does make sense.
Talk. Thank you for coming.
So like
that feels good to hear too, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean,
right?
hell yeah.
I know.
But honestly, like spotlights on us, bunch of people looking at us. I mean, granted, a lot of them are drunk. They're already feeling good. You can just like fart in the mic and they'll probably laugh. But
that'd be a good way to test the audience.
They would end up just laughing at me because I shit myself, walked off stage, and probably cried in the corner.
All right, there's Josh Leit's 20-second segment. Oh, all right. or maybe you go up there and you just wet yourself to get it out of the way and just let it happen, and then do your bit and don't even straight up don't even acknowledge what happened and just
no, the janitor that comes up cleaning the mess is going to have his own routine that's better than mine.
He's like, oh my God, this guy went again. I swear to God, he was here yesterday. He did the same.
I'm trying, okay?
So
This is the best material I got.
Josh comes back and the dude throws his mop down. I fucking quit.
Everyone's cracking up because they think it's a part of a bit. He's like, every time I come home, my wife hates me because I smell like shit. Everyone's still laughing and he just legit quits. Oh, great.
So then how was your first time on stage?
Honestly, it's kind of like what you guys are saying. So the very first time I went on stage, I made a mistake. You would think that the first time you perform, you get excited. I was pretty young. I was still in high school, actually. And you tell all your friends, you want everyone there to support you. You want them to go, dude. When you perform in front of strangers, ball game. I could test things out that I don't think is funny, but I want to see if it's funny. But like when your friends are there, like they know you and you know them. So like they know if you're trying too hard or get into your own head. So I invited a bunch of my friends and things like that, and they came and, they watched. And okay, I'm not going to say I bombed. I didn't do very well, but I didn't do, terrible either. But I think it was the mental thought of like, all right, I don't know how many people were there. Let's say there were like 50 people there. At least like 10 of them were my friends and like things like that. And I was just like, honestly, if it was like 50 just straight people that were just like there, it would have been fine. But I think it's just the mindset of that because they've heard some of my jokes and I didn't sound bad. Long story short, I'm actually like, I feel like that was a mistake, but like back then you would never know. Like you wouldn't know not to invite like, that doesn't make any sense. Your first time doing it. But long story short, after the first time I was like ripping the Band-Aid off because after my confidence was low afterwards, but then I was like, I mean, if I go again, like, is it going to get worse? So then I tried it again with like the nothing to lose mentality. And like, when you're that young, you care about what everyone thinks of you. Like you care about social media, you care about likes, you care about blah, blah, blah. But at that point I was just like, fuck it, whatever. I'm going to just give it a shot. And then I did a lot better and stuff like that. So it's kind of like ironic that, inviting people, to support you, that kills you.
I could, that's interesting.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. But when I first went into that question, I was thinking to myself, like if you invite a bunch of people, it could go one of two ways, depending on them. They could make it better for you because they could over laugh at things that maybe aren't that funny to make it seem like you're doing great.
Oh, see, that's your fallacy. You would think that I have kind friends. You would think that they would be like, knock, who's there? Me, who? Oh! And they're jumping around. I would tell like a joke and they'd just be like, oh.
I don't get it.
He made me come out to see this. I mean, all right. I guess I'll stay.
I hear better things on Xbox when he gets killed by a little kid.
Exactly. So your first fallacy is thinking that I have good friends. Joke's on you. My friends were terrible.
Oh no! So did like anybody happen to bring like a tomato to throw up on stage, or, like a little tomato?
Honestly, if that actually probably happened at the time, I probably would have loved it because I would have taken like the focus of how like nervous and embarrassed I was away. Exactly. I'd be like, wow, I feel like a meme, but now I could tell a story that I got tomato thrown on me on stage. That would have been the best.
Right? Yes, awesome. Exactly. That's awesome, man. So you've been doing that for like 10 years is from what you told Josh, right?
Actually, I feel like the reason I stumbled upon stand-up and things like that is for the obviously you guys don't know me, but I'm actually first generation Korean. My parents are immigrants, and English is actually my second language. So when I was growing up, imagine like a really, and when I mean obese, I mean like a really fat. I'm still pretty chubby, but I was like huge. And
like sumo wrestler huge?
Yeah, like when you see the really fat kids, you see like they're so fat, you see like the wrinkles in their arms kind of thing. It was like that. It was really bad to the point where like in elementary school,
Michelin Man.
Yeah, exactly. Some kids would literally ask me, like, do you want to be a sumo wrestler when you grow up? Like, thinking back, that's a fucked up thing to say. But I was so naive enough to be like, I mean, no, not really.
I'm thinking about it.
It's my career choice. Talking to my agent, he's like, oh, put on a couple more pounds and you're there, son. You're a prodigy.
I'm not going to rule it out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. If I were that big, it does look like a fun sport to partake in. I mean, you might as well.
Not only that, but this is something that would be worth looking into. What is the lifestyle of a sumo wrestler? Like, do they get a lot of...
I feel like they're treated like kings, right?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they can't take care of down there. They can't even see it. So they probably get like pretty little ladies to like go down there, clean up.
And
honestly, at that point, you're literally at like I don't care. All I need to do is just eat, sleep, and just get it.
Just push this dude out of the ring and make sure somebody's available to change my diaper.
Exactly. And just walk around and be like, all right, now it's time to eat, whether I win or lose. All I know is
I got to say, it's very impressive. You know the English language as your second language better than we know it as our main and only fucking language.
Yeah. You know I'm more better.
Yeah.
I'm the goodest at this spoken wording thing.
I'm the goodest.
Okay. He's got grammar pretty good. He got grammar.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is MC grammar right here. And I also have to like just absolutely have to throw honor here. I'm so happy to see a Blackhawks shirt on anyone hockey. Like I don't know. Maybe this is like a little terrible to say, but I would not have thought Koreans cared at all for hockey.
I'm actually really glad you brought that point up because I feel like that's where the whole story was going. So when I was growing up, I was really overweight. I didn't know really how to speak English. And the few words that I did know how to speak, I had a heavy Asian accent, which, by the way, unless you're Australian or British, apparently it's not a sexy accent to have unless it's just Australian or British. If it's like an Asian accent, it's not sexy. Oh yeah, I do it all the time. Whenever, or back then when I would get in trouble, or not in trouble, I would always joke like, oh, if I ever got pulled over or if I'm ever with you guys at the mall, remember we were kids, and I ever get in trouble, I'd be like, oh no, I don't know how to speak. I don't know. And I would just act like I don't know how to speak English anymore. And then, I mean, they don't know any better. Like they don't know me kind of thing. So I definitely use it to my advantage here and there.
But for the most, do it.
Exactly. I get out a free jail card. No biggie. Right. But I think for the most part, growing up, I tried to like get away from that. No, I didn't want to get bullied or anything like that. So I was like, all right, don't be the stereotypical Asian kid. Just like do what like white people like so you fit in. That's whiter than hockey, my friend. I mean, come on now.
So hockey became like, all right, I'm going to cling on to hockey because it's super white. And then
so wait, do you actually like it or is it just an illusion?
Oh no. Okay, so I actually really do like hockey a lot. I actually like football the most, and then hockey is second for me. But I mean, it's just because second is me. I don't like it. I do love hockey a lot. So I think me faking it actually made it into be like, oh, okay, these white people are onto something. They like good sports. I'll follow along. Nice.
Did you ever hear the story? I don't remember what team it was. Josh, you might know, but there was a guy that put it out on Twitter, and he was like, he was a black guy, and he's like, damn, you white people been keeping hockey from me. I just went to a game, and this is the best thing I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, and then he got like, and he got picked up, and they sent him like tickets and stuff like that. I remember.
Yes. I have never heard of this.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That's so funny.
What team was it, man?
I want to say it was like the St. Louis Blues, but I don't think it was them. Was it? It might have been.
Either them or it was Tampa.
Yeah, it was. It was a blue team. Maybe we'll leave it at that. But I know exactly what you're talking. It was like the funniest thing. It was like trending on Twitter and stuff like that. And I'm a degenerate, so I'm on Reddit like 90% of the time. So when I saw that there, I was cracking up. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Man, well, I mean, you got that one up on me. I do not know how to use Reddit whatsoever. I've had 2 accounts like banned. And I just like gave up.
I used it and I got banned off of the
I had it for like 10 minutes and I got banned immediately. I was like,
I really didn't basically have it that long. So I got banned from the subreddit called Funny Stuff because
how do you get banned from that?
Okay. This is my thing. I read their like little term thing,
little rules things.
Yeah. And it's saying like, don't post non-original content. And that was mainly the big thing. Don't post advertisements. Yeah. I'm like, fair enough. That's cool. So somebody would post like, oh, this is such a funny story about blah, blah, blah. And it's like a big paragraph of a story. And then I would post in there and be like, hey, this is a really funny story about when I got a dent in the back of my head from skateboarding, which is true. I have a dent in the back of my head from skateboarding. And we talked about it in a podcast episode. So Josh segments out a lot of stuff in our episodes, and we call them mindless moments. Oh, and awesome. I just posted the link to the story, and
then you fucked up.
Right? Yeah. Like I didn't want to type out the whole thing. I just. It's a lot. And then the way I tell it makes it funny, and you can appreciate that as a stand-up comedian. So I did that like 20 times,
It wasn't me. It was them. It was them that was wrong.
And I got a message from like an auto moderator that was like, you have been permanently banned from the subreddit Funny Stuff. And I'm like, what the hell? So it was like, if you would like to dispute this, message back. And I'm like, I'm on a message back. So I messaged back and I'm like, hey, I just posted a link to my story instead of type the whole thing out. And he's like, self-promotion is not okay. That's not in the fucking thing. You didn't say that. So I just said, screw it. I'm kind of done.
I'm gonna be honest, you're not really missing much. You're just like I have a love-hate relationship with Reddit. I love it because it's just I think out of all the social media platforms, I'm not really on social media too much. Reddit's the one I definitely browse around the most, just for memes, laughing and stuff like that. But like, if you don't follow the culture or rules or whatever the hell you want to call whatever Reddit is, dude, you're in for a bad time. Like, sometimes I'll compose like a really funny comment and it'll get like a bunch of downvotes. I'm like, what the fuck? And then someone will be like, but, and they'll have like 10 million likes and stuff. I'm just like, all right, I'm calling it a day.
But you said but.
Yeah.
I like those.
I don't know much about Reddit. It's definitely a different demographic that it more so tends to. And I feel like there's a lot of kids on there. I mean, there's definitely, everybody's on there. And I will say, when we were having a little bit of success with Reddit, it was working out pretty good for us, because we would see our numbers on YouTube, and a lot of the external sources, majority of it started coming from Reddit. And we're like, oh, wow. Okay, cool. But we fucking
I just shit on Reddit, so I'm about to get brigaded. So it's nice knowing you guys, because I'm about to get swatted or something by all those guys. So
hey man, if you know how to use Reddit, you definitely use it to your advantage. But
and ours.
We do not know how to Reddit whatsoever. We are total idiots.
I can help you. I'll be the Reddit ambassador. I'll just help out the Mindless podcast and just be like, all right, it's not self-promotion if it's not my podcast.
There you go. We should all do that.
There's the loophole.
We just have like an entire network where we just share everyone else's.
The admin will look at it and be like, you don't get it. No, you idiot. No.
But we're trying to get all cheeky, and they're going to be like, nope.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
This is my friend named Mark. He's got an email he just made 20 seconds ago.
So speaking of podcasts, what is yours about? What do you typically talk about?
Yeah, so it's ironically, it's like almost the complete opposite of this. And by this, I mean a good podcast. My podcast is shit. No. My podcast is about, it's like, so I've been really getting into like philosophy lately and mindfulness and things like that, because I'm of the age, I'm married, by the way. We're thinking about having a family and stuff like that. And
it's a trap. Don't do it.
It's a trap. No, like, the existential crisis is coming to me right now, where I'm just like, wait, if I have a kid, I'm responsible for a life, but I'm a kid. So what is happening there? So it's almost like I'm going into my own brain being like, all right, I gotta like make myself someone that I want my dad to be. Like, I want someone to be looked up to. And I was like, man, I'm such a shitty person. I gotta be a little bit better. And so I kind of been going through this self-discovery. So the whole point of the podcast is called You Dive Deep, like you guys mentioned. And the whole premise of the show is every single show I have a new guest on, and every episode talks about one philosophical question. And it's something I usually pick catering on whoever comes on. Like I'll talk and be like, okay, because of their background, their expertise, this would be a great question. And we talk about questions, something as simple as just like, how do you define success? I mean, that's such an easy question at face value, but when you really start to dig deep into it, you're just like, okay, maybe there's more layers, or boobs, or and then there are like other questions that get even deeper than that. I feel like one of the podcasts I'm actually going to be doing this over the weekend. The question is really weird. It's, if you yourself was a separate person, like in your own life, would you be friends with that person? So I was like, okay, would I be friends with myself? I'm like, nah, I'm pretty annoying and I have weird quirks.
Yeah, I like this subject because
I would definitely punch myself in the face.
Yeah, Josh would hate himself. I know.
Josh would have already murdered himself.
I would annoy myself because there can only be one, like if there's another one of me and I'm like, this guy, like, he's saying all the fucking funny shit I'm wanting to say. He's, like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, no, I don't like you. I wouldn't like him. I don't think I would. I would. I
do love philosophy. One of my favorite ones is Pascal's Wager. Are you familiar with that?
No, I go when I try to act like I know what it is.
Oh, okay.
As you should. As you should.
See, at least I don't lie to you guys. I'm not like, oh yeah, here, give me 1 second.
Josh, why don't
I know
you
exactly
explain
who it is.
Yeah, or even better, oh yes, Josh, very insightful. Why don't you explain that for Nick, who probably doesn't know?
Yeah, he doesn't get it. He's so dumb, like the dumbest person I've ever met. So explain it like as if I'm him. That's it.
Well, I mean,
who? Oh, me. Yeah.
so I would love to, and we are going to when we go on your podcast.
100%, and that's why
we'll talk a bunch about it. And so,
because we are gonna go. We are gonna go on his show. Both of us, even though I'm not.
That was the deal I made. That was the deal.
And in my head, I was like, "Joke's on you! I got an audience of like 4 people, so I'm bringing nothing to this podcast."
Hey, that's
not
okay.
a problem at all. Hey, man, good laughs, good fun. You bring in a lot. It's a lot of fun talking to you.
I agree. So, what are some of your inspirations for what you do? Whether it's comedy, improv, just
or the
living
podcast.
your life, or the podcast. Yeah, some of your. I mean, obviously, we're probably inspirations for the podcast, but I mean, you gotta.
You guys are Yeah, I would have to say some of my inspirations 100% is I love like that interpersonal relationships that you build with people, just like talking in general with just people, new people, like you guys. Like, look at the technology nowadays. Like I'm talking to you guys. I had no relation to you all through, the internet and all that kind of stuff. It's just cool to me. And so I want to take advantage and just be able to get to know more people. And like I said, I'm in this weird nebulous time where I'm just really trying to figure out who I am. And the best way to do that is through other people. Like I have so much I can learn from you guys, whether it's podcasting or just, being a dad or just being funny or just
we do that too.
Or how to get a cool skateboard injury in the back of my head. Like there's so much I can learn. But in all honesty, I think it's just building this. But it's building those relationships with people. And I feel like podcasting is like the perfect way to do that when you get the new guests on. And we're living in an age now where like I feel like people don't have conversations, especially with like the pandemic. If people are working remotely and things, almost all the communication you have, unless it's someone in your house, is like all through text. So it's really rare where people even talk to people now. Right. And as you guys have unfortunately probably found out from this podcast, I enjoy talking a lot.
Oh, so I do too. I love it.
But that's kind of like what the passion has always been, whether it's comedy, whether it's podcasts, or whether it's, any of the hobbies that I have. It always has that one trait of, can I interact with people? Can I have fun? And can I just be able to get to know different types of people? And I think that's what it's all about.
So then it would be fair to say that your inspirations are people that talk a lot, which means I am an inspiration. See how
Call your mom and say, "See, I told you I could do it."
Yeah,
I'll be like,
he needs a gold fucking star right now. That's what he needs.
Be like, "Hey, mom, Tommy, you said that I'm his inspiration." She'd be like, "Oh, that's awesome. Who is that?" I'd be like,
obviously it's my best friend that I've told you about. You're being a bad mom right now.
You're terrible mom. Ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I definitely have come to enjoy, because we initially started the podcast kind of just me and him, and then we always had the idea in the back of our mind. We wanted to have guests, and it's honestly become something that's feels a lot more better. Like more better. See, our vocabulary shit.
That wasn't even. That was real.
That's a bad thing. Fuck. Now I forgot what I was saying. Nick quits. So that wasn't our initial goal, and
Connor, edit that out.
We have come to find out that we enjoy it more than doing the regular mornings alone. We do enjoy talking to just each other, but it adds an entire new dynamic with another person, and getting to meet a complete and total stranger. Like, honestly, like how many people do we walk by each and every, well, maybe used to with COVID and all, that we would walk by each and every day and like never pay any mind to them. They're just another like body that walked by.
Mm-hmm. And it's really funny, just to throw this in there. My wife is like doing this would be like her fucking nightmare. Like no way. And I'm just like, I'll be in line at the grocery store and be like, blah blah blah, and the guy will be like, ha, ha, and then we talk, and then that happens. And my wife, she's like, nope, I love the whole 6 feet thing, stay away, like. And I'm just like,
so that's me in person.
We could be touching right now.
That is me in person, and still to this day would be me in person. But I could talk all day to my camera and screen, and
yeah.
I mean,
you just pretend that we're not real.
Yeah, for all I know, you guys are just AI, like really good programmed AI.
I'm just
and
an
I have
NPC,
a lot of fun.
That's all I am.
Yeah.
This has been a fun conversation.
Thank you.
Bye.
Signing off, man. All right, well, that was a good day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's awesome. I mean, I love it. So you have pretty good support then with what you're doing from your wife and your family and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, for the most part, they kind of just let me do my thing. They're like, oh yeah, Tommy's just doing, Tommy things. And so I guess if you call that support, oh yeah, I get that a lot. But in all honesty, I think a lot of the endeavors, of course, they always support me and stuff like that. So when I actually, like I said, my podcast is super new. So when I actually told my wife, hey, I'm going to do a podcast and involves, getting guests and things like that. And, I'm going to do a podcast tonight. Oh, with who? I'm like, you understand. It's a great Florida, beautiful people. And she's like, wait, do you actually know them? I'm like, I met them through the internet. I was like, oh, okay, you have fun with that. But it's almost like, because it's so new and exciting, it's really fun to be able to get things started. But I think by support by friends and stuff like that, I feel like almost everyone has a podcast. So it's really weird to now go into social media and be like, hey guys, I made a new podcast. And like, oh, awesome. Get in line. That's the 10th one I heard this month. So I haven't done a lot advertising it a crazy amount just yet, because I want to have a good amount of episodes I'm proud of under my belt first, and then kind of be like, okay, now I have a podcast, rather than be like, hey guys, blah, 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 blah. And so I think that's why I'm so excited. But at the end of the day, for me, I know it sounds super cheesy. I don't really care if, I have a lot of listeners and things like that on my own personal podcast, because for me, I'm still having a blast with it. So I'm just like, whether you like it or not, I'm going to make a bunch more episodes. So if I have one listener or, 1 million, it doesn't matter to me, because I'm still going to do it. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, and that's the mentality to have. You can't worry about getting so many people right off the bat, or even for a while. It's definitely a long haul. The most important thing, you have to have fun. If you're not having fun, if you're just doing this expecting fame right away, unless you are really cute with big tits or a celebrity, it's not going to happen. Our production value or anything can look can look as good as it does. And dude, we have a very tight handful of followers, and that's about it. But we love what we do, and we're definitely.
What you said is so important though, because if you lose your passion and you're just grinding out just for the sake of getting another episode out, you could kind of tell. Not saying oh yeah, you guys are fake, but right now we're just bouncing off, we're just having fun, just going on different tangents. It's just exciting.
It's what we do, man.
Exactly. And I feel like that's just a really good environment you guys set for guests like me to come on, to feel comfortable enough to just act like we've been friends forever and be like, oh yeah, here, let's talk about this and that. So dude, you guys do a great job doing that. It's awesome.
Oh, thanks, man. Let me show you my nipple ear.
I was actually gonna do one of the first thing that people did when internet became a thing. Here, let me show you guys my butt.
Check out this button, wasn't it nice?
I mean, that's all we're about, is just showing our anatomy to everybody. So.
Okay, how many times has that been a joke already? I think we've done that in a few episodes where we've been like, hey, check it out, but we never actually do, because that's a little weird. But we always. Well,
I don't even have a nipple piercing, to be honest. I couldn't. I like my nipples too much.
No, that's I couldn't either. I'm afraid. Now I see that since we have Zoom, we can see you, and people on YouTube, you guys can all see us like usual. I've got tattoos, and Tommy here has tattoos. I saw you got a sleeve on your left arm. That is kick ass, my friend.
I do. Thank you. It was a lot of money. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, I know all about that. I got tired of spending money on tattoos. I bought my own equipment and did it myself. And it sucks.
So Tommy, you gotta explain on your wrist. You got the swastika there. What's that about?
So I really, really dislike a certain group of people. Yes. No, just
okay, guys, we're totally just fucking around. We really
Everybody listening to audio is already gone, so there's that.
I was gonna keep on going. I was like, remember when I said I couldn't speak English? This certain type of people kept bullying me, so I had to make a statement.
All right, Tommy is not self-sabotaging, I swear. This is
Connor, don't edit that out. If anything, amplify it. Thank you.
Connor, he's on his fucking phone again.
Oh, God. How do we get help around here?
Dude, I mean, I'm telling you, we get the worst interns every time. Yeah, I want you to hear me say that. Okay. Good Lord. All right, well.
Like, I got a hump to get a tri-martini around here.
So we started our podcast because I went on a podcast to talk about a video game that me and Josh and a couple other people are developing. And it was really fun. And I kind of like got hooked on talking a lot, which is weird. But like I talk a lot and my wife's like, you need to have an outlet because you're annoying as shit. And I'm like,
I don't want you to bring this home. Just
fair
move
enough.
to someone else.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. So we started our podcast as like a fun, entertaining morning show style podcast where people can listen to it and forget about the shit that was 2020. So that's why we started. Why did you start? What made you like? So basically, from what I'm gathering, it's to meet more people. But,
well, yeah, but it's almost like I wanted an audio diary for myself. And I know that sounds really weird, but like I said, there's so much I could learn from a lot of different people. And like each time I have someone on and have these type of deep kind of conversations, I always learn so much. And I feel like that's the beauty of why I'm honest when I say, hey, if I have, like 10 listeners or 10,000 listeners, of course, if I have 10,000, it'll make me feel a little bit better. But at the end of the day, I know like 20 years down the road, and God forbid, let's say something happens to one of my guests. All my guests have been really close friends. How cool is it a memento that I have this, documented lots of different conversations with these different people? And not just that, that age-old story, not to get philosophical here, but, when you're on your deathbed, you don't think about all the money you have and all that. It's all the relationships and memories. So like, I'm thinking years down the road, I'm just going to count my money and all that. But no, I think it's just that's kind of what inspired me. I want something to look back at. And podcasting is really weird because you almost get instant gratification. As soon as you're done with the episode, well, the editing process sucks, but that's why we hired Connor. So whatever. And
wait, Connor, you're working for him too? You need to tell me this shit, man. What?
He's like, wait, you're getting paid?
Well, here, you can have Tanner. You can have Tanner.
We have a bunch of over there.
Tanner, Connor, Parker, like all those dudes.
Yeah, I got Miller over here. He's a piece of shit though.
Basically, we hire people that are like Dad's a lawyer. Like we hire those guys. So we got
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, they're on Instagram all day. Look at me, 3,000 wasted.
yeah. So it's been fun, and like what you talked about like the like kind of like a diary, an audio diary or what have you. I said something really, my wife took it as kind of morbid.
Oh boy.
Because I was like, another reason why I really love doing this is because like, I don't know, like what if I die recently? Like what if I die soon? And then like my kids can like grow up and like hear their dad like talking and doing all of this cool conversations for hours and hours and hours. And my wife is like, so they can hear you talk about butts and I'm like, well, you say it like that. It sounds.
You're like, well, yeah, it's the authentic side. It's not the fake me that I want my kids to pretend to know. This is the real me.
This is me all the time. Yeah. So they would see that, and I want my kids, like, let's say I died, and I want my kids to like eventually listen, and sure, your daddy's gonna be talking about asses and dumb shit, but there's a lot of laughter, and the kids would like smile and laugh and be like, that's a really big part too, is you can have something out there that you definitely could never have before, like ever. And now it can be chrono whatever time, whatever. I'm done.
You're the goodest worder I have ever heard.
Goodest worder.
I'm a wordsmith.
I'll get you that shirt. Goodest worder.
That's honestly a really good point that I didn't really think of, which is funny because when my daughter was born, I started a complete folder of everything. I started writing notes to her on a regular basis and putting them in notepads and saving them. All books, TV, movies, I downloaded and put into the drive so like she could know what I like or what I want her to like kind of know and things like that. So I made all these different things, and I never really thought like about this podcast. She's definitely going to have a much different opinion of me from the notes to this podcast.
Maybe you should keep your side from her. No, I mean,
dude, honestly, she's going to be probably just as fucking crazy wild as me. So she needs to know where it came from.
Fair enough. So we are going to take a very quick little break, and then we are going to get into our second segment, which is complete random bullshit.
Yes, I made it this far.
Back.
I'm still alive.
And he'll stay. You're going to stay.
Yeah, if you don't come back, then
I'll find you.
Know. Yeah, we'll find you.
I'll find you.
What do people know how to get to you? I've heard this.
Yeah, I can do it. I can do it. I'm Native American. All right, we'll be right back, guys. Right back.
Hey guys, it's Tommy from You Dive Deep. If you're looking for a new podcast to add to your rotation, try giving mine a shot. Each episode revolves around a new question each week where me and a new guest dive into a deep philosophical question like, do you fear death? Or how do you define happiness? I pick specific questions geared to the special guest of the episode, so come join me as we dive deep. You can find my podcast on all major platforms, and once again, it's called You Dive Deep. You can also submit any topics or questions you'd like me to discuss in any future episodes at youdivedeep@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Take care.
Hey, everybody, we are back from our break. Hope you did something in the break or didn't, whatever. But we're still back with Tommy, and we are going to actually, I wanted to bring up something that we were talking about before with his podcast. The process in which he runs his podcast, I think, is really unique. So, Tommy, explain like how you find your topic for the person that you are going to have on your show.
Well, first of all, before I answer that question, I appreciate you letting me continually shamelessly plug my podcast, because your guys' podcast obviously goes out to millions of listeners, and I don't mean that in a demeaning way. You guys have a much bigger audience than I do, so I really actually do appreciate it. But no, my podcast, what I like to do, like I said, it's a little bit more deeper, philosophical, but that doesn't mean it's not funny or anything like that. It's whoever my guest is. I'm sure you guys know more than I do. Like, everyone is different. Everyone has different ways they talk. I'm sure I'm much more annoying than other guests you've had, and vice versa. I'm sure you've had much funnier people, all that kind of stuff. So depending on my guest, I always like to think of specific questions. I know a lot of times people are like, oh, Tommy must have a list of questions, and depending on what guest he gets, that's the question they're going to get. What I typically do is, I don't screen them. I always have the conversation of whoever is going to be my guest and be like, oh, just tell me some things that interest you, or tell me a little bit about yourself. And as soon as I get a little bit of context and stuff like that, like, spoiler alert, I'm hoping to have both of you guys on for a podcast. And during that little break, I got to hear a little bit more from Josh and things. And when he was kind of explaining some things, I was like, oh, wait, I have like 3-4 amazing questions I would like to ask you.
This guy sucks.
Oh, God, this guy's a personality of a brick. I have to have a really good topic or no one's going to listen to it. No, not at all. But I mean, I like to cater it to my guests, because at the end of the day, you can't force your guests to talk about some random topic. I mean, you can, but it's not going to be fun. Whereas if I pick a topic, or if my guests come to me and be like, yo, wouldn't this be a really fun question to kind of dive into? Then I'm completely okay just throwing out my play and be like, yo, let's run with that, because I feel like that's going to be really, really cool.
Absolutely. So it's like a personalized, it's almost like a personalized session of philosophy that can go very deep. And honestly, I could equate it to some sort of therapy depending on where the conversation goes, which is really cool. I really like that. So Josh and I are both going to be on his show separately, because I'm going to end up talking too much and Josh isn't going to be able to say much, because I talk more than Josh. Let's just put it that way. So I want to give Josh time to have his moment with Tommy, and then I want to do the same. So
hold up, before we move on, that was my favorite part. You're like, oh, I talk too much and blah 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 blah, and Josh is like, yes.
Yeah.
And then you're going, and then I want to make sure he has his time, and I got to make sure that. Yes.
Yeah. Case and
that's it.
point.
That's the Mindless Morning Show, folks.
That's a wrap.
Yeah. So that being said, we like to do our second segment of this show where we ask completely stupid, random ass questions and see where it goes. We have a lot of questions. We're probably not going to get to all of them, and that's okay because you'll probably come back on the show, and then we'll just we never run out of questions
By popular demand.
Dude,
that Asian guy that was on there that one time with the tattoos.
Yeah. If we derail for 20 minutes because of one question, that's fine. That's totally cool. So whatever I ask, it doesn't
whatever
matter
stories
how long
come up.
Yes, exactly. So first thing I'm going to ask, super important. Have you ever eaten a piece of candy with a wrapper still on it?
Oh, dude, all the time. All the time. It's not like...
That's how I prefer it.
You know, like the little Starburst thing? You know when people think it's sexy to do the thing with the, what's it called? The cherry stem? Oh, no. You upgrade. You unpeel an entire Starburst in your mouth. And then me being the fat obese kid I was like, oh, this is too much. I'm just going to eat it. It's a little waxy, but whatever. The sugar's in there. So I don't want to hear people thinking they're high and might be like, oh, that's disgusting. Shut up, first of all. It's Starburst, all right? It's deliciously juicy, okay?
So I did the same thing. I don't know why I thought about this question and it made me laugh because I remember hearing a rumor going around in middle school, maybe elementary school, a rumor going around that they're like, the paper's edible. Like, it's like edible. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, it's not that good, but I mean, I'm not.
We got that really
sick.
weird kid in class eat the fucking wrapper. That kid's a moron.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
No,
I did that.
I like the now and laters. Those ones were really sticky, and I was never able to pull off the entire fucking wrapper. So there was always like that little bit that was kind of like a scar on the candy, and I was like, "Well, fuck it."
Fuck it.
A little bit won't hurt me.
Yeah. My funny story though with the Starburst wrapper is like, this was like when I was in like middle school, you know, kids were dumb. And then they're all like, oh yeah, it's like a sexy, that means you're good at like this and that. So and I tried to get it done and blah, blah. And they're like, and then when I finally got good, like, yo, Tommy, you know, that just means you're good at like sucking dick, right? I was just like, oh no.
I stand by it.
I mean, a skill's a skill.
So,
Hey.
okay. Now, with that said, I have to ask question.
Are you gonna ask
I'm going to ask that question.
Yes.
Would you rather suck like suck a dick 90, like the first 90% or the last 10% of the job?
All right. Okay. I see the predicament I'm in. Do I continue to suck on a vascular hot dog for a long time, or do I get a salty surprise? Wait.
This is philosophy.
The last 10%, because I'm a goddamn finisher, all right? So if it's the last 10%, just for the sake of conversation, where does the deposit go? Does it have to be deposited into my bank hole, or does it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's going to be deposited in the mouth. What you do with it afterwards, if you spit or swallow, that's entirely up to you.
I mean, it's already in my mouth hole. Like, if I eat a candy wrapper, man. So I mean, my standards are so low to begin with. So
Fair enough.
I feel like I have to say,
But I mean, that it sounds like a lot with 90%, but I mean, if you do a really damn good job and just get them there really quick, like that's it, you're done. Like maybe 20 seconds top.
You know what?
Shit, you got to be real
think
good,
you just
Josh.
inspired me. You answered my question for me. I'm pretty good at unwrapping Starburst wrappers in my mouth. And if my middle school life told me anything, what that mouth do though? Greatness.
Okay. So your final answer is the 90%. The correct answer is kill myself. No.
Literally gag myself and literally die.
So we talked about this with another guest, Screamy Chewy, a good friend of ours. we talked to this about him, and we really got into it. And I had brought up a point that I thought was good. So we had all answered with 90% as well, because that 10%, that finish, that's gonna scar you.
There's a lot going on.
That's rough. Yeah. I mean,
we don't know if they had pineapple
like the process
juice.
of it happening. They tense up and they stare into your soul, and you're looking up, and
maybe some
things
hair
are happening. You're just like, oh God, okay, no, I'd rather have done this for like 15 minutes rather than this last 5 minutes.
Exactly. Okay. And then I thought of, well, if you choose the 90%, who the fuck is going to say, I'm 90% there? Switch. So you're going to get the 400.
Where's the 10%er? He's going to finish it.
We all do that, though, as guys. We're like, I'm coming. I'm coming. That's the 90% mark. So, all right, you're in.
That's true. Like sometimes in your head, you know when it's happening, and it's either, oh God damn it, already. Like I thought I could do better, coach. I thought I could do better. Or it's like, oh God, finally, fucking, I just want to get this done. But you're right. There is that 90% where everyone has that tick, you know.
Yeah.
You see the guy on the 10%, like, let me in there. Like,
Let me in, coach. I can finish this. I know.
Why didn't you just start?
I'm the goddamn closer, man. You're the fluffer.
That's it. It's teamwork,
okay.
man. Teamwork
Now
makes the dream work.
That was one hell of a segue, because that wasn't a planned question.
That's how good we're just jiving.
But we'll see. That's the thing. That's the best thing about this show is it literally can go anywhere. And the purpose is, for those of you watching and listening, is to forget about the dystopia that will probably become the world soon. So, sorry we reminded you. So the next question, it's innocent because we didn't know how cool you were. Do you have any experience with tasers?
Unfortunately not. And I know that sounds really weird, but like, remember the age where Jackass was like all the rage like 20 years ago, and everyone was like, I want you to push me down the hill in a shopping cart, like all that kind of stuff. And of course,
my
they always
idols.
Yeah, I know, right? Knoxville, Steve-O, all those guys. But like taser, it's so weird because everything I hear, besides the fact that you probably, if you get tased in a certain spot, you like shit yourself in it. Besides that, I heard like it's really painful, and then right when you stop, it's like gone. I don't know if that's true or not. Like I said, I've never been tased. I'm not gonna act like I know what I'm talking about, but it's something that I would at least want to experience in a really weird way. How about you guys?
It hurts because your muscles tense up so hard, like really, really hard. And
joke's on you. I got no muscle. It's all fat.
Because
I'm impervious.
Because I have a really bad back. I was so happy. But yeah, the actual act of being tased.
What were the charges?
Lewd and lascivious behavior.
I don't even know if you're joking.
No, I am. Don't worry. I was never arrested. That's actually one thing I'm proud to say. I think our recent guest, Justin, would be very impressed and honestly, probably surprised that I don't have an arrest record.
So we just had a week ago or so. We had a guest on that was he's in a SWAT team and he's been a cop for like 20 years and stuff. And I am surprised you didn't tell him you've never got arrested, because that whole interview, he probably thought you were like a scumbag.
That's fine. And I got that impression, especially after that superior look of disappointment. He went from like laughing to
this
real quick when I mentioned because I mentioned weed, and yeah, his face
was serious.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's not when he made the face I was thinking. It was whenever you brought up the freaking all of the dead bodies he's seen, and you spun it into like, well, that'd be a good way to like get rid of a boner.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That's hilarious.
Dude, it was.
I'm at the 10% dead bodies. Okay.
We laughed, or I laughed my ass off.
No, he laughed, but at first he was like, "Can I laugh?"
Whoa, I think he was a little taken back.
Is that allowed?
Yeah, because it was definitely something else. So I mean, for the listeners, if you guys haven't seen that, definitely check it out. but also still finish this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't go anywhere. I mean, I haven't even asked the next question, which is,
Hold on, let me read.
do you have a story? Well, I didn't want to. It's a two-parter, but I didn't want to get one part in front of the other. But basically, tell us, if you can, a story involving a fart.
Oh, easy peasy. So this actually happened recently, and I'm a self-deprecating man, and so I
was
love
hoping
it.
so.
So sometimes when you have just like an upset stomach all day, it's not necessarily diarrhea, but you keep going to the bathroom, you feel the farts and all that kind of stuff. And
It's like pressure,
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's not like you even have to like poop. It's just pressure. And all day, like I'm like, oh man, did I just eat a lot of greasy stuff or what's going on? The answer is yes, because I'm a completely terrible person with my diet. But like I was I was battling this all day long throughout work, whatever, going to the bathroom here and there, whatever. And so fast forward to the night, take some melatonin, pass myself out or whatever. I'm like, all right, this, whatever. It'll be all passed by whatever. Laying in bed, scrolling through my phone like I always do for like the next 4 hours because I could never fall asleep. And then I feel a little uncomfortable. I'm like, no, I'm not going. Like it's like 2 a.m, whatever. I'm just going to rip it. Freaking ripped it. All over the sheets. All over the sheets. But it's like liquid. Fart. Hold on. Mind you guys, it's not like I'm 28 years old. We have white sheets. I am married. I share a bed with my wife. And so, so that's the most recent memory with a fart. You want to trust them. They're your friends. You like your own scent. You know what I mean? Yeah. But sometimes, dude, they deceive you. And that's where my trust issues, I think, really stem from. I thought I could trust myself, but...
Dude, you absolutely killed it. You blew past my question and made it way better, and I'm super proud of you. Like I just love it. That's just,
hold on. Before I finish it though, the comedy doesn't end there. Not only did it happen, but
your wife had to see it.
You have to explain it. What am I gonna do? I have a cat. Oh yeah, Mango. Mango did that, and it somehow got in my pants and on my under. I don't know how he did it, but cats are smart. No, so I have to explain the whole situation. Mean like,
hey Ben, check this out.
Yo, look at this skid mark.
Just own it.
Take a picture. It's a modern.
You can't do that shit.
No, but seriously, yeah. So the comedy I had to explain it, and it's not the best when you have to do your laundry that early in the morning when your wife is a school teacher and all. Oh, it's not a fun time, man.
Wow.
What grade does she teach? Because maybe she deals with that at her school.
Oh no, she has a heart of gold. She does special education. I'm not gonna release her name or say schools. She gets really weird about that kind of stuff. But so she's special education. She has a big heart. Her heart is so big it makes up for the fact that I'm just a total piece of shit. So it kind of works.
You shit all over the bed. I mean,
you're in the same boat as us. You're in the same boat as us.
Same boat. It's awesome.
My wife is like the most humbling nurse.
So
super kind, like I don't know, super sensitive. Me, I am the biggest asshole, just completely straightforward with most people.
So it's great.
And it's insanity.
Okay, you realize, Josh, Tommy is here in the same position that we were in. You got to trap her, which is what you're doing. You're gonna have a kid. You're gonna trap her. It's like
can't get out now.
The joke will end up being on you. Just ask Nick and his lack of time he has towards everything.
He knows. We talked about that on the break.
He's like, I literally only have 2 hours.
Yeah.
365 days, 2 hours for myself.
Yeah. That's it. So, I mean, choice is yours, man.
Just have one.
Choose wisely.
Just have one. I mean,
one's manageable.
That's all the trap needs, right? Right? I read in the manual somewhere. That's how you trap. One's all you need.
One is manageable. 2 is like, it's a little tough, but I mean, you can get there. And then when they get a little bit older, you're like, all right. And then 3 is just like, 3 is like, I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Dude, you can pull the age-old trick and just go pee on a pregnancy stick and tell her you're pregnant, and then she is basically trapped. Then, like, you could just like play it off, get rid of the diet, eat whatever you want. It'll look legit.
Yeah, and they sell those online. It always comes up positive and things like that.
Oh God,
That's something. But you know, it's weird. I put it on my butt all the time, and I get no results. So I'll try it again a couple more times. But
you need to eat more. You need to eat more kale.
We need more butt babies in the world.
Oh, so have you ever been in a limo?
I have, and it's not actually two separate times. One time is
God,
I know. Sorry guys, I don't mean to be rolling up here, but I am literally royalty. But no, it's the very first time was kind of like it doesn't really count because it's just that cheesy. Oh, going to prom, one of those things. And so like, did I really ride the limo? No, because we just go from here to the high school. I don't know why people do that. Like it's like a drive, but they're like, oh, let's get a limo. Gosh, dude, I don't understand. But anyway, but also another time I went to I'm from Philadelphia. I went to a Sixers game and my stepdad randomly, he's like, oh, yo, we're going to go see Kobe Bryant, R.I.P. Kobe Bryant. I got to see Kobe Bryant because it was this random game where he came to Philadelphia. Yeah, Kobe Bryant, he's kidding. Like this really good baseball player.
His career went up in flames.
I love it.
Connor, he's having to deal with a Twitter shitstorm.
Oh, by the way, I just wanted to mention, I think this is also, I don't know when this is going to air, but today was like one of his anniversary days from it.
Yeah. Today was the 1 year anniversary. Josh, you shit.
Josh is like, I didn't even plan it. Grand slam.
Yeah, like subconsciously. Wait, it's been a year since he's died?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
A whole year?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
you're wasting away. You're wasting your life away.
Dude, I feel like that happened literally. Yeah, I'm blown away right now because I literally felt like that only happened like fucking 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Your sense of time, though, it kind of just forms into
especially in like COVID times where Josh, you haven't left.
Dude, I have been in my house like a hermit since February of last year. I've not left for anything but like one doctor's appointment for my daughter where we didn't even go anywhere. We drove into the parking lot and then like went back home. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I guess my perception of time is like really off, but holy shit. I did not realize it was a year. So I'm definitely not too soon. And I don't care.
He stands by it.
Statute of limitations gone now.
Yeah. Like, wait, it's been a year? Oh, yeah. You got any more? No. So
who else has recently died? Let me get at him.
So I've never been in a limo. I didn't go to prom. I had a girlfriend at the time, and she's like, "I'll be able to get you to go to prom," and I'm like, "No, you won't." And prom.
I didn't
like
finish high
all
school.
she needed was a limo. That's how she could have gotten you there. Or she
maybe
so.
So.
Up in a limo.
Well, and then like prom time came up, and she's like, "So," and I was like, "I'm not. I told you, dude. Like forever ago. I'm not doing it." She's like, "Okay." So obviously,
so she went and fucked the jock behind the school dumpster.
maybe. I mean, I don't really care.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I was only in high school for 2 months, and then, I didn't do any prom. I didn't even care about it if I did.
So Josh murdered a teacher, and so basically
that's why you guys had that SWAT guy in here, because that was like an intervention kind of thing.
We kind of rolled it into like a probation hearing and like a show, kind of all in one. Yeah. So
yeah, they were very generous to work with us on that. That was very nice.
They were. So speaking of sharding, which everyone enjoys, that actually is one thing my wife said to me. Like, if you shit your pants, I feel like it crosses a line that I don't know if I can come back from. And I'm like, wait. So if I shit myself, you're saying you won't see me the same way anymore? She's like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just worried that if you do, I will. And I'm like, okay.
Because she sees you as a grown-ass toddler. But like, if you shit yourself, you're just a grown-ass fucking baby at that point. And true. So like, she'd be so disappointed.
So I mean, I gotta be like on my game, man. I gotta watch my farts. I gotta be careful. Like every day is a struggle, you know?
No, man. Fuck watching your farts. You can't hold that in. That shit.
Dude, I'm with Josh. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Let your shark dreams come true. Just let it flow.
My dream is to shit myself and walk by my wife and like kind of like pull my pants and have a turd flop out in front of her.
Oh no! You kind of do it, and you just sit on her lap and you just start smearing around. It's the good stuff. Yeah,
dude, this is some
I
definitely shit.
I definitely try to Dutch oven my wife every night.
If I did that, I think she would not like that. Like, I get away with saying a lot of stuff that you don't say to your wife.
Yeah, no, you get away with saying a lot of shit that my ass, dude. I would go fucking missing in a heartbeat if I said some of the shit he says to his wife.
So I have
my wife's Spanish. She don't take that shit.
So like my wife has talked before, obviously, and when she did,
she knows words too.
She knows words well, very good. Well. So I remember, like, I don't know how this came up at work, but we were all daring each other to like say it to our wives. And I was like, okay, I'll say it to my wife. She didn't give a fuck. So this is what I said. She was talking and I interrupted her and I said, shut up. You're just a hole for my dick.
What? What did she say?
She said probably like a fucking that cucumber or eggplant emoji with some wet spun.
No, it was verbal. Like, I said it in person.
Yeah, no, and then she literally grabbed an eggplant that she had in her pocket at the time.
Yeah. No, she went, it rolled her eyes and then said anyways and just kept talking.
It's just him being him again.
Yeah, dude, like that was it. Because I mean, she knows I'm not.
Dude, my wife would have gone off and she would have said, you get your ass home and we're gonna have a fucking discussion about how the way you talk to me. And you wouldn't have heard from me or seen me ever again. Like, I would have been dead in a fucking ditch.
Hey guys, I'm so sorry to say this is the last episode of the Mindless podcast. I lost Josh, so I can't continue.
Josh is grounded. He's grounded in the ground.
Yeah, but then once they find that my body was dead in a ditch and has been fucked by a bunch of homeless people, Nick can become super famous with the podcast because it'll be all over the news and everybody will hear it.
Yeah,
That's
and then
true.
I get to tell people like what I said to my wife, so then I sound like an asshole.
I get to be that innocent bystander. It's like, I'm just happy to be here. This guy died and this guy looks bad, but I'm just happy. I'm the guy who shit his pants. Whatever.
That's like not that bad anymore.
I mean, compared to what you guys are going through, I mean, I'm in the clear. So, like I said, let your dreams be dreams, man.
Yeah,
honey.
Yeah,
we're going diving.
So speaking, man, like, I love we segue off, and it's what we're all about. So getting back into the realm of the very, very serious conversations of sharding and whatnot, where were you during the COVID crisis with toilet paper? Where were you at whenever everybody was taking all the toilet paper? Were you in there taking toilet paper? Did you have how were you? Do you still need toilet paper? I've got some, you know.
Did shit hit the fan for you or not?
Right?
You know?
Yeah. Or the sheets.
Or the sheets. I mean, I don't understand why people need paper. You could you shit in bed and you're fine. I don't get no. But in all seriousness, I was really confused when everything was going down because everyone is always like at some point are normally stocked with toilet paper. Like, you always have a stock. And then when everything was kind of going crazy and you saw this chaos of everyone, like, you know, buying like 5 different packs at once, I opened our closet and saw how much toilet paper we had there. And it's not like we had an extraordinary amount or whatever. I just looked at it. I was like, I mean, we're still fine for like another 2-3 months. Like, do people not understand how to like wipe their butts? Like, I don't understand. So like, there were definitely times where we start to run out, but luckily it's never been a time where we like had nothing at all. But I was just really confused when it was happening because I was like, maybe I just don't use a lot of toilet paper. Like, don't you just use your hand and then wash your hands after like that?
No, dude.
I mean, that's what I thought.
This is how it is. Like, you know, that's how Americans are. A lot of them are so stupid. And it was the funniest fucking thing to realize. People think that they need to stock up on toilet paper to wipe their ass, as if they're gonna have somewhere to put this fucking toilet paper if like things are really going down. Like, these people have no sense of like survival, like any kind of resilience, like nothing, just complete. And it's funny. It really is. It was I thought
I thought it was funny whenever my wife texted me and was like, "Hey, everybody's going insane with toilet paper. We just went to Costco and I already had a ton, so we're good."
Yeah, dude, we had the family.
We already had a lot. Yeah, we already had a ton, so we're like, we can just let this ride. Like we're good. And I was like, good.
And not even that, like, it's like, I don't know, fucking step in a shower, wash your ass. Like, there's still water. Like, I mean, there's so many other alternatives, and everyone, I don't know. I thought it was really weird though that everyone connected toilet paper with the pandemic, like,
because there wasn't even a symptom of diarrhea or excessive shitting.
I didn't realize though people really cared about having that clean of an asshole. Like,
I guess that's kind of nice
because you only clean the house when you're expecting guests.
Oh yeah. Wait, so that means you never wipe?
No.
Okay.
It's even better. I mean, you just let it get crusty there, and then you just go into the shower, and it just washes all
off. I'm totally kidding.
Wash it off.
I always expect my wife to just stick a finger or two up there.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So
makes it all the more exciting.
You sweep the porch.
Leave her a surprise in there sometimes, you know? It's all fun in games.
It is.
Yeah, her favorite sport is football, and her favorite team is the Green Bay Fudge Packers. So.
Wait, is she really a big fan of football?
No, nobody cares about football here.
Okay. Yeah.
Football, basketball, and baseball, awful. It's just hockey here.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's why I'm so happy and so amazed.
Yeah,
it's the best and only sport. It's a sport that allows fighting to a degree. I wish they like brought it back to the old school times where they weren't such bitches about it.
Is fighting still allowed at all, or did they really try to tamp it out? Because
no, they do try and end it before it gets a little too serious. But I mean, if they're fighting, they're fighting. Let them at it. And so
I like that. I haven't watched hockey in a very long time. I play the games a lot.
Yeah.
Which brings me to a question that isn't really all that random because you seem like you're nerdy like we are. Do you play games too?
Love video. I haven't had a lot of time recently to be able to play video games, but yeah, I definitely play a lot of video games. All right.
Okay, cool.
So what's your gaming style? What do you like to play?
I think I've been a little bit more casual more recently, only because, you know, this whole adult thing kind of sucks. So anytime I try to jump into like an RPG or something like that, I hate it when like you're in this for like a week because you have a lot of time and then you get really busy. And then when you jump back to an RPG, you're like, where was I? Like, I can't start this.
Yeah.
I have to start all over. That's what I did with Red Dead Redemption 2. I got really far. And then I stopped playing for like 2-3 months. And it's a phenomenal game, obviously. And then when I returned, I was like, what the hell is happening? I didn't even know the other protagonist besides Arthur's name was Dutch. I was like, who the hell is Dutch? Like, what is going on right now? And so I have
he's like a main character.
Hey, Arthur, I got a anyway. No, so I play a lot of things like that when I have more time, but I think because I have to play a little bit more casually because I can't segment a lot of time to be able to play, it's been more like sports games because I'm a really big sports fan. So I've been playing just more of that. And I can't really play first-person shooters anymore because I suck. Because there's a bunch of like stupid teenagers on Adderall that destroy me. I'm like, oh God, did he twitch headshot? And I'm just like, okay, so this is how you look left. And then you see guys like sliding and sprinting and shooting like double wielding guns. I'm like, yup, this is not for me.
You guys are being a little dramatic. I mean,
so guys are getting a little sweaty.
I still love playing like Overwatch and Fortnite.
Okay, wait, mains. Who did you main, or do you still main?
So.
Okay, I see Zenyatta, McCree, and Diva. All right.
Junkrat, Reaper, and Hanzo's my main. I have well over hundreds of hours. Here we go.
We got a Hanzo main here, guys.
I'm a good Hanzo main. I'm not just a Hanzo main.
I don't even know these people.
Yeah, it's all right. No, you're out. We'll just meet you now. Hanzo was
the man. OG days, the scatter shot. All right, I gotta stop being nerdy. Yeah,
dude.
I like sports.
I was so mad when they got rid of scatter shot.
Dude, whenever you see tracers bounce around, you're like, oh, I'm about to end this person's career.
and that's how you get a touchdown.
So do you play on PS4, Xbox, or PC?
I have Xbox. That's what I was playing a lot of Overwatch with a lot. And then they started to allow like a little bit of like crossplay sometimes here and there and whatnot. And then so it's really cool because I got to play with a lot of people. But like I said, the older I got, the less time I was able to continually invest. So I can't play Hanzo because apparently you need something called technical skill and aiming. So all the characters I like, you don't need to aim at all. So I'm like, I'm just good, guys.
Yeah. Hey, man. I mean, I only play on PlayStation or PC. We'll link up sometime. We'll figure it with.
Yeah, you could carry my sorry ass, and I'll just be on the mic being like, "Oh, guys, get on the point, get on the point." Be like, dude, what are you doing? We're on defense right now.
I'll just follow Josh. But Josh has admitted to not being all that great either. So.
Oh yeah, no. I did win a tournament at a game bar.
The fuck?
Yeah, it was at a game bar. So like I was there with my buddy. I was supposed to go to work that day, and he's like, "Yo, let's go to the bar. They're having an Overwatch tournament." I'm like, "What?" And I was like, "It's like this is gonna be my second day or third day calling it out in a row." I was supposed to go that day, and I was just like, "Fuck it, let's go." And dude, I was so glad I did because I fucking got first place. My buddy, my girl was there, and like they gave me a bunch of shit. I got a shirt for my wife. I was like, "Yeah."
That's amazing.
You called your boss out of like desperation, like, "I have AIDS, okay? I mean, I just
no, dude.
off.
I didn't even care. Like people knew I wouldn't care. I never pretended to be sick on the phone. Never like, yeah, I can't come in. I'm like, yeah, I'm not coming in. All right. Yep. Nope. Totally fine. Just calling in sick. Bye.
Yeah, dude. I got these days. I'm using these days.
Yeah. The union.
That's
protection. True. It's all great. You just got to know the contract. But aside from gaming, now I want to know if you could start your own secret like society or your own secret conspiracy, what would it be?
Oh boy, conspiracy. Oh man, I'm trying to think of all these things that are like inexplicable. Oh, okay, there's a word there. I'm not the best worder as
we're making him mindless.
Yeah,
I think
he's
white
degraded.
syndrome when I'm slowly falling down, like the equilibrium kind of thing. Oh man, I might need you guys to kind of take reins on this one first, while I have time to think a little bit, because I feel like I can figure something out, but right now I'm just drawing blanks.
Yeah, Josh, why don't you answer your own stupid question?
Whoa. All right, so I would fully make a whole secret society based on the known conspiracies of aliens, but like a real big society, someone like a society powerful enough to like with enough influence to actually be able to get some answers, get some solidarity, and like start taking some pictures or some shit on the inside. Because like the fact that we don't have anything now, I don't know, man, it kind of bums me out. But we have very minimal from the Pentagon.
I would like to start a conspiracy. And by start a conspiracy, you mean start it and there's actually like things that can make it seem real, even if it isn't real?
I mean, there's already so many things that make it seem aliens are real. Fuck it, I don't care. It's not conspiracy.
I had a dream quite a while back, and we had an episode where Josh and I just talked about sleep and dreams and what we think about sleep and all that shit. And I had a dream that humanity went to war with ants because ants started killing people. Like they would target homes and they would like totally engulf people in their sleep and eat them alive. Pretty sweet dream.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was lovely. So it would be funny
until you hear about how we combated them.
Yeah. Okay, that was bad. That was not. Okay, so long story short, the ants became sophisticated and began building anthills the size of houses, and they would like have thousands of colonies in one mega colony.
Oh,
and
you done fucked up.
Right. And the military, for some reason, they combated them by sprinkling this like powder on their nests, on their massive hills, and it would put all of them to sleep.
Yeah, they just sprinkle cocaine on them, and they get really energized, and then they start to crash.
Pass out. Yeah, exactly.
Obviously.
So that could have been what it was. Yeah. And I mean, that would make sense for cocaine to be my dream since I do it a lot.
I was wondering. Sometimes when you talk, you randomly get a nosebleed, but you wipe it real quick. Oh yeah.
I didn't know if you noticed that shit.
No. Is this noticeable, guys?
Come back from the break, and I got like paper towels shoved up my nose. Hey,
Guys, this is gonna be the best episode I've ever had in my life.
So then once all the ants were asleep, there would be a dude with a drill that would drill like a big ass drill that would like auger drill into the hill, and he'd find the queen and just crush it. And then the ants would go back to normal or something. Well, I entered the dream at this point. After all of this is well known, I entered the dream and I looked and I saw this big fucking anthill, dude. And I just charged at it, just ran, and I got close to it, and I dove in head first to an active anthill the size of a house, and just right inside of it. And then they all started eating me, and then I woke up. And it was really stupid. But
I was gonna say, I don't know if I would have done that, but hey, more power to you.
They weren't even asleep. There was no logic behind what I did. So
yeah, that's a 5-second dream. Even your brain was like, all right, fucking wake up. Let's try this again, you fucking
brain
idiot.
is like, oh, dude, we're out of ideas, man. We have no fucking idea what to do here.
It's funny because like my brain crafted this like crazy scenario before I was even in it. And then I came and ruined it. And then the dream stopped.
The brain's like, oh, dude, who let this guy in? We knew he was going to screw it up.
Yeah.
But
and
now
it's so stupid. So it would be funny to like craft this like really believable, realistic sounding conspiracy that ants were planning on taking over the world. But it'd be total bullshit. But people would.
It's like reptilians, but with ants.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think now that I have some time to think, I'm actually gonna do a curveball because I'm a piece of shit and I don't follow the rules. But this is my conspiracy. I'm not even making it up because I'm genuinely curious, and I'm sure you guys probably have it where you guys are too. So I live in Pennsylvania. Last time I checked, Pennsylvania is like
vampires,
Eastern. You know what I mean? But like, I don't understand what they do, but. All these houses in like central Pennsylvania is like, dude, it's like Kentucky. It's like Alabama. I don't understand. There's like Philadelphia, there's Pittsburgh, and then there's like Kentucky. It doesn't make any sense.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's like the country, like Amish people too. But anyway, these houses have these stars on them. It's just decoration. It's like outside of their house, it's like a big ass star, and it's all over the place. I heard it's a lot all over the place in the South and stuff like that. It's just decoration. They just put a big ass star.
That's the Texas thing for the big lone star.
Yeah, that's what I assumed it was. But then randomly you see them in like every other state outside of Texas and randomly in Pennsylvania. And so when I first got to like I said, I grew up in Philadelphia. So obviously none of that is around. But when I get to central Pennsylvania, I see like these stars. I'm like, oh, is that like a tribute or like what's going on? Am I all of a sudden in the South? So I want to make up a conspiracy theory that like people put that outside of the house like a sign. So everyone kind of when they see it, they know I don't like these people just for no reason. I'm just like, why is the star out there? It doesn't make any sense. So my theory is like they're just like all doing incest and just weird ass stuff. They're like, oh yeah, we're proud. Let's put this big ass star up. Bonk. Oh man,
these are registered offenders.
Yeah, so the government's like, don't worry, guys. We put big ass asterisks on their houses.
or they're
conspiracy theory.
They're a secret society of like cannibals. And those stars are for each other, so they're like they know
it's like a safe space. Be like, yo, you want to come over for dinner tonight?
Yes.
Because you know we got the dinner.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I'm talking about conspiracy theories, not absolute truths. I thought we were supposed to lie at some point, but what we were just saying is just the honest truth. Right?
That's true.
So sorry, I guess I don't have a conspiracy theory, unfortunately, but please don't eat me, star people. Do not eat
star people.
Oh, they will now.
Well, they know I'm chubby and I eat Starburst with the wrappers on. So I mean, I'm high on the totem pole. They're like, "Oh, dude, we're starving. We need to eat this Tommy."
They got you on that list now, man. They're gonna start harassing you like Jehovah's Witnesses at your doorstep every day. Hello.
Exactly. So, but before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you one more just off the wall weird question. Which, if it derails us for quite a while, that's okay. But it's going to be, what's your favorite zoo animal? And has anything ever happened at the zoo that's something that's a story or something weird?
So
I was eaten by a lion. Okay, sure.
So I jerked off a rhino. Let me tell you. No.
Wow. That's a story that I would love to hear.
So I snuck in. No.
So he was lonely. It was just out, and I was like, "Yo, I'm really good with the mouth, but like my hands, I gotta prove something." No. But true. I honestly, I really like marine animals a lot more. So I don't really go to a lot of zoos, but one animal sticks out to me a lot. So like I said a billion times, I'm from Philadelphia. Very proud of it. They have a nice little zoo there, the Philadelphia Zoo. I remember I used to go when I was little because when parents don't really know what to do with you, like, oh, just take it to the zoo. That'll be fun.
We do that.
Just take them to the zoo. That'll drain their energy. So I mean, it's all in good hope. And all the time when I went when I was little, the elephants are fun to see because they're big. When you're little, you're like, oh shit, there's an elephant. Not that I have special connection. I mean, it's just cool to see. Then they took the freaking elephants away. They're like, oh, sorry, we don't do elephants here anymore. And I'm just like, yo, hold up. We're the Philadelphia Zoo. I think they're like claim to fame is like they're one of the oldest zoos in America. I was like, hold on, it's not like we're a random. I don't want to throw shade to any city because I know we have millions of listeners here, but I will anyway. It's not like we're like Cleveland or something where we're not a cool city. It's fucking Philly. Right? Like, how do we not get elephants, man? What's going on? So, yeah, it's not really a fun story, but I was pretty pissed off. And ever since then, I haven't really gone back, even though I feel like zoos kind of in a philosophical sense, I shouldn't support them, but it was pretty cool when you're little. You don't know any better. And I was just excited to see the goddamn elephants. And then one day I went and I'm like, oh, yeah, the little Komodo dragons are over there. There's a rhino that I jacked off. And okay, wait, where are the elephants? Where are the wrinkly, sexy ass elephants? And then they're like, oh, yeah, sorry, we don't have them anymore. And I was like, oh, maybe they're back now because I just haven't been back in a while and I suppressed that memory. So listeners, if I am wrong, let me know if there are elephants at the Philadelphia Zoo again, because I will definitely go. But so I know that wasn't really a fun story. I'm just kind of venting right now. That's okay. It's been very therapeutic for me.
It's all good. It's all good. I'll tell you one.
Elephants are important to have, man.
We had they're iconic, man. So we had an episode about animals where Josh and I talked about animals for an hour and a half. And I told the story about when I got pegged in the forehead with a rock by a monkey. And I was like 8. Yeah.
The monkey's like, all right, got to pick out the biggest piece of shit out there now.
They were like the little monkeys, like really not that big.
Yeah.
We were watching them in like a small cage, and one of them just went and just got me right in the forehead. I didn't cry. It wasn't like a traumatic thing. I mean, I remember it pretty well, but I remember my mom.
How old did you say you were?
I was like 8.
Okay.
And it says it's a rock, but it was just a rock hard turd.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I didn't eat it, unfortunately, to test.
Big mistake.
But I know, man, a total missed opportunity.
Free food.
But yeah, I just you never know with the zoo what kind of shenanigans can happen. So I just wanted to bring that one to the table. But yeah, so
I do want to ask before, because you said like you didn't really go to zoos, like you were more marine life. So what is your favorite like marine animal?
All right, I feel like this is like completely contradictory because I don't want them to be in enclosures like aquariums. So I'm a huge fan of orcas, killer whales, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Dude, if there's any like aquatic life or any documentary really with animals, I'm just like, yo, this is gonna be a good time.
Blue Planet.
Right. Oh, dude, amazing. But then, like, I don't know. Anytime I see killer whales or orcas or anything like that, I'm like, yo, this is dope. So I don't know. Every time I see anything like that, I'm like, this is the coolest. Like, usually you're like, okay, there's a joke in here somewhere. No, there's no joke. Orcas are just
as much as I don't really care too much for animals in captivity. I love animals more than people to any degree. But man, they're awesome in captivity for my enjoyment. I'm sorry. It's like, a few out of like the rest that are in the world. And honestly, I look at it this way. These animals are like the celebrities of the world, like the animal kingdom, instead of like human. Like they're living in luxury. They got it made. They're fed. They don't have to work for it. They got like maybe not like the most amazing home because they're not free range completely, but I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not really complaining on the inside.
The ones here in Texas get like popsicles all day during summertime. They give them like these big ass fruit filled popsicles.
Yeah, like
all day.
mean, these people are taking care of these animals, because the people that do it, the people that love animals more than people, like they would much rather work with animals than people.
And also, to be fair, like I said, I know like it shouldn't be encouraged for like animals in captivity, but in the other side of the pendulum, like I never in my life would have ever seen a tiger or a lion or an elephant ever in my life in real, like in person. Like, and
if
so
you
I guess
you're fucked.
Oh yeah, obviously. And so like I guess in that sense of a way, it's really cool because not to get like. It's really cool to at least see more nature. Unfortunately, it's like in a very like fake setting. But like you said, I mean, like if it weren't for zoos, unfortunately, still like I would have never had that chance to see it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And also,
it's a catch-22.
Yeah, exactly. And I have some more grief. Like, why is it okay for these animals to eat like 10 boxes of popsicles a day, but I do it? And my wife's like, yo, you're gonna get diabetes. I'm like, yo, hold on.
The giraffes
elephants get to get all the popsicles I want. And last time I checked, I'm on top of the food chain. I get as many popsicles as I want.
That's when you turn it around and like you can shut them down real quick. You could be like, well, if you're worried about me getting diabetes, I got to get rid of you because you're so sweet.
Oh,
whoa!
I didn't tell you.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
So I thought of something while we were discussing orcas and stuff, and it is a little disturbing. But if I ever have a chance, and I would love to do this, have my own television show, I want to now have a segment where I go into a therapist's office with a little hidden camera and I like vent some ridiculous shit, like, and film their reactions. Because I thought of like, I would like to go and sit down at like a therapist's couch and be like, I'm really concerned because every time I see an orca whale, I get really, really hard. And
honestly, I'm so sexually frustrated. I try jacking off. I make love with nothing finishes me until the blowhole of an orca is right in front of my face.
So I have a wife. I've got kids, but there's posters of orca whales in our bedroom because I have to be looking at the orca whale. Or it's like I need to know why. I like just watch the therapist be like,
"Oh, gonna leave me." She's wondering why. Oh, it's gonna leave me because I keep watching Free Willy. I think she's catching on. I don't understand what's going on, but I keep telling her, "Oh, what's for movie night? Oh, how about Free Willy too?"
It's like that's all we watch. And then my wife gets
we need
mad
it on Blu-ray and then slow-mo.
because and then I'll stand and I'll lean against the television screen and I say, "I'll free you, Willie." Like if you said all that to a therapist and got it to film, dude, that'd make for a really funny show. Like a segment, like I don't know, it just came to me. So anyways,
okay, just the one last thing I'll bring up before I say, you say you're so proud to be live in Philadelphia, but you don't care for the Flyers?
Oh no, I also love the Flyers. So the whole funny story with the Blackhawks is my dad, when he was working, he always had like this headquarters over in Chicago. So like growing up, I would get these little knickknacks from Chicago. And you know, the whole nostalgia thing where you kind of gravitate to things that you saw in your childhood. So growing up, I was more of a Blackhawks fan. If you remember the Stanley Cup, what was it? 2010, it was Flyers versus the Blackhawks. I was totally that guy that was driving around my high school playing Chelsea Dagger as loud as I can because that's the fight song. And I was that dick. And then as I got older, I was like, no, I really do like the Flyers. They're the Broad Street Bullies. They're the losers, whatever. But no, I'm a big Flyers fan. So right now at this moment, I'm actually a bigger Flyers fan than I'm a Blackhawks fan. But this was when I was a big fat piece of shit. So like I wear it like as a pajama now because it's like so big. So I'm just like, oh, it's comfy and it shows that I still like hockey. But yeah.
So were you like,
I'm going against Philly? So you can't trap me there.
Were you thinking, all right, I'm going on the podcast with these two white folks, we get my hockey jersey and blend in?
I just want to fit in.
No, that's awesome.
I just wear my cream colored V-neck.
Oh, it's so seductive with a little bit of ink, and I'm just like, oh shit,
Little
where
bit.
does it end? Where does it start?
Oh yeah. No, dude, I love hockey. I honestly have grown to love watching just a lot of teams play, just because I love the sport when it comes down to it. But when anyone's going against the Colorado Avs, I don't care if I like them. I want them to be fucking rushed. But this season's a little wonky with the fucking division that they got.
Yeah.
The COVID bubble, and it's weird. I'm not entirely for it, but it's still hockey, nevertheless.
I mean, yeah, for sure. Like, crappy hockey is better than no hockey at all.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I can agree. Nick, is there any last questions you have? I'm sorry, I know we're keeping you awake, and you're just like itching.
No, I'm good. I was gonna say, not about me, but is there anything, Tommy, that you want to say to the viewers? Any message of?
Yeah, absolutely.
Shameless plug away.
It's not really a shameless plug, but I just wanted to thank you guys, first of all, for having me on. I know this is where we get a little bit sappy. I know we've been having, making a lot of jokes and things like that, but I really do appreciate you guys letting me on here. Just hang out with you guys, make me feel really comfortable. Just like I said, I know I said it before, we act like we've been friends forever, but this was the first time I've ever really gotten to talk to you guys ever, seen you guys for the first time. So I think the chemistry and stuff like that, while it's good and stuff like that, I think it's because of you guys. It's you guys make the guests feel comfortable. And I hear that through the podcast and things like that. And I think it's also been a lot of fun just being able to, shoot the shit and whatnot. And I definitely want to put a disclaimer. How I'm acting right now is like when you listen to my podcast, like if, you actually are like, oh yeah, I want to hear this guy talk a little bit more.
Much different. I didn't expect this.
Yeah, it's completely different because what you see for me here, this is more of like, I'm not saying I have different sides and things like that, but this is more of like the comedy, more of the fun kind of thing,
Yeah.
Life has different sides.
Yeah. So I definitely just wanted to make that disclaimer. So I don't want anyone to be like super turned off, being like, okay, I'm going to go listen to this podcast now and be like, okay, this is shit. This was not what I was expecting at all. But once again, just give it a chance. I think it's a lot of fun. It's meant to be more, like I said, philosophical. You have to be in a different state of mind kind of thing to kind of get ready for the podcast. Whereas this, I think you can put it on any time. Like when you're in a bad mood, you'll get in for a laugh. Unfortunately, my podcast won't be that flexible. But I definitely want to at least put that last disclaimer out there. Please give me a chance. And, if you don't like it, just leave a comment saying you suck balls. I'm cool with that. I'll cry myself to sleep, but I'll fight.
You're a comedian. You've got thick skin, so it's all good. It makes
you can't kill what's already dead. I'm dead inside, so whatever, man.
Yeah, I will say, do not go watching you dive deep expecting what you've seen here today. It is
no.
It is a very much more mindful version of Tommy today.
Actually, that brings up a question. So I'm obviously assuming, because you guys are top notch, you guys are the podcast I want to be. You guys are the staple. So when you guys do all this research to be able to bring me in, like you said, not only am I humbled that Josh actually listened to my first 2 episodes. Sorry about that. I know it's really rough. 1, it meant a lot to me, but 2, how did that impact how you kind of came up with the show? Because I'm sure you talked to him and you're just like, okay, we're getting Tommy on the show tonight. I listened to his podcast. I feel like this is the type of personality he has, obviously. So how did that go and how is it different after?
Honestly, our show notes, our show notes were pure.
Notes are a joke.
Yeah. If like you look at our show notes,
eggs and this is my grocery list. Sorry.
Yeah. we literally have like your name in your podcast, and then like the little bit that little bit of disclaimer you gave in Discord, how you did stand up and you were part of a couple of improv troops, and that's when I was like, oh shit, you sound like you'd be somebody interesting to come on the show. Let's go. And then we kind of like did questions about that, and then our stupid random shit. So we actually literally, as our name would suggest, mindlessly prepare. We just try to, like, Nick himself is really good at keeping a conversation alive, where I do just sit here and listen.
Yeah.
And
and I got to interject because I have massive anxiety about having dead air, because we don't edit these. These are not edited. These are essentially, they're live. None of it's edited. So I don't want dead air. So like, no matter what.
I tried to stop the show notes and he's like, no, my anxiety, I won't be able to. Like, I'll freak out. I'm like,
oh, no,
whatever.
No. I will sit there. If there's dead air, I will sit there going like, oh my God, what color carpet do you have in your floor? And is there a stain that you cannot get out? Because I mean, everybody's got.
Would you like to talk about plumbing? I know plumbing.
Did I tell you I'm a plumber yet?
I don't know if I've told you guys. I will say though, in all seriousness, I am a plumber, and it is a very important job for me. No, just. So yeah, I just I haven't actually talked about my dead air anxiety on air before. This is the first time, so people think I'm just like, yeah, just go.
Yeah, sorry, I kind of threw that out there.
That's fine. In my head, I can tell when a conversation is starting to slow down, and I'm like, whoop, look over and be like, okay, I need something. I say, okay, and then boom, and then I just try to segue it in as best I can because we don't edit these, so it's like.
Well, one thing I definitely want to add, and this is, I guess, the more philosophical part of me, finally, a little bit of you dive deep is about to come in. I think for the listeners, that's going to be really encouraging because when they hear you and they see these YouTube videos, they'll see, you make a lot of jokes at your own expense. You don't make fun of other people. You're like, oh yeah, I'm the dumb blah, blah, blah. Like I have this injury. But like when they see how outgoing you are, how well you're able to flow and things, I feel like no one would be able to guess you have this anxiety. And I feel like that's a really cool thing to at least bring up because some people might be struggling with it, but you can never really identify where it's coming from. So I feel like it's really, it's really cool that you're able to share that because I know there's going to be a lot of listeners that are definitely going to be surprised. They'll be like, wait, what? There's no way. But it hopefully will give them a little bit of comfort because it comes in all these different kind of ways and able to be able to kind of conquer it and things like that. So just wanted to jump in saying that's really cool for you to share.
That's perfect to show for the disclaimer because we went from like mindless to like
we got some substance.
Yeah. We got something there. Well, and then like whenever we're having conversations, certain times when we're like all talking and I can tell the conversation is slowly starting to die out, I start getting really fidgety, but nobody can see. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, all right.
I constantly am playing with crap at my desk. now that you can't see like what my hands are doing anymore, because I think before like I figured out my camera settings and stuff like that, you used to be able to see me. Like I'll play with like I've been playing with these throughout. Just like playing around with the penny and like folding this over, like that's what I do. I just fidget with shit. I'm weird.
I've been picking off this nail. No, I just imagine like I show it and there's like blood all over my finger. Like, dude, you've got a problem.
Yeah, man. I've been picking at my thumbs, my skin. I always do that. That's
one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to take up too much more time because I know we keep saying, oh, we're gonna end it. But one more question that I feel like I cannot get off this podcast without asking is it doesn't have to be in depth. But your guys' rooms are so cool. You have a bunch of movie posters. You look like you're in a legit production suit. Like you got like that foam thing to make the acoustics better. You got like a freaking leather chair back. What the hell, man? What's going on? Can you guys explain like what rooms your guys' rooms are so cool?
So it's funny.
Nick, go ahead.
All right. So it's funny because like my wife is at home. I'm at my mistress's house, and I got Josh pretty good there.
I didn't expect that.
So yeah, of course not. So I'm staying. We're looking for a house. My wife and our 3 kids, and so we're staying at my dad's house. My dad has a pretty big house. We stay upstairs, and I use he's got like a small theater room. It's like a room that he turned into like a theater. Hence all the movie posters.
Imagine being rich.
Yeah, well, I mean, he owns the plumbing company that I work for. So I'm not going to say he's rich, but I mean, he's doing well. Well enough to have a couple of extra bedrooms upstairs. So, we've got room upstairs. So we're staying. So we're staying here while we search for our own.
Well, first of all, congratulations. That's awesome. Yeah. I know like you haven't found the house yet, but just kind of looking at it was pretty exciting.
Being able to like realistically look is exciting.
Exactly.
I've never owned a house before. I've only rented. We moved in here a few months ago. And before that, we were renting a duplex, which was really, really cool because it was like having a house because it was it was a duplex. So yeah, it was cool. But yeah, Josh.
So I am renting. This is actually my grandma's house, but this is a house that I have lived in almost as long as I can remember, really. And she lives with my parents now. So it's just me, my wife, and my kid. So we decided we wanted to do a movie room. And so that's literally just paint and like trim that I tacked to the wall.
Oh, wow.
Projectors are cheap. They're a lot cheaper than TVs, and for an amazing price. And these are like dirt cheap, just stapled on the wall, nothing crazy. And that's like, I don't know, the $10 monkey mask that I just really like. So yeah, I mean, it's really nothing fancy. It looks fancy. Honestly, like if anything's really fancy that I take pride in this room, it's that case that my buddy got me when he worked at Billabong. And in there is my entire collection of like my Overwatch pops, the only pops I went out of my way to buy.
Hey.
And my other statues, figures, and busts that my wife has zero fucking idea why I bother with them because they do nothing.
You moved the dildo.
Oh yeah, I had to get rid of that because
you were messing with it way too much. I get
it's in the dishwasher right now being cleaned.
Finally,
its own special cycle for it. No biggie.
Yeah, he needs it.
The sanitary cycle.
You don't clean that thing enough, bro. I've told you, like, you need to clean that thing every time.
He likes it though. He likes the extra crust for the extra friction. It makes scientific.
It's scientific.
Rookie
it's
over
a
here.
Sensation fish. Yeah. I get it. Well, shit, man.
Textured for my pleasure.
Yeah, but like when I was talking to you guys, I was just looking at your guys' rooms, and I was like, oh my gosh, I see the water boy. Obviously, it looks like Spider-Man over there. That's so cool. And then I looked up at yours, and I was like, well, hold up a sec. There's like a theater with like the acoustic thing with a nice ass leather chair that costs more than pretty much everything in this. It looks awesome. So I was like, as I was talking to you guys, like that was the first impression I got when I first came into the Zoom. I was just like, yo, what's going on?
How do you feel about this for marine life?
I've seen those things before. I like the boardwalk. It's like it's like a shark, right?
Yeah,
it's like real.
This is my pet shark, Jimmy. It just says shark, but I named it Jimmy.
He's the editor, right? He's the editor.
Yeah.
Connor, you're gonna lose your spot, bro. He's asleep. This is bullshit. Whatever.
Sorry, Jimmy just rose up the ranks. Jimmy will actually get the job done, though. So
Jimmy might be dead though, but honestly, a dead shark is just.
I was gonna say better than Connor, dude. Connor's just asked him to make me a hot pocket like 10 minutes ago. It's not.
You gotta get Miller on the job.
Yeah, no shit. But guys, we're gonna wrap up for tonight. We are going to have Tommy back though, because we didn't get into nerd shit. We didn't get into gaming. We didn't get into a lot of shit that we could.
The next time you see Tommy with us, we're all gonna be in the same room.
That would be amazing.
That'd be awesome. That'd be
that'd be dope.
That'd be badass.
Yeah, man. Once we get big, we're gonna fly you here, and
with all the Patreon money that you guys are getting, all the sponsorships. I mean, least you could do is fly me in, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
With the limo, that's where the limo comes in. That's why
it's probably gonna be cheaper to fly you in than to feed you. So you're on your own with you.
Talk about anything. All I need is just some Starbursts, and I'm good to go.
That's true. Well, I got to get my diamond grill first. Like I got to get that grill, diamond grill. So I'm waiting on that. That's a first. That's a must.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you guys, make sure you guys definitely check out his podcast. It's an extremely interesting idea. I haven't heard anything like it. Delving into philosophical topics that are custom tailored to you, which is really cool. So it's essentially a podcast where you can really get into some shit that might be helpful to you. So it's called.
Just as the podcast says, you dive deep.
You dive deep. And if you're typing it out to find it, it's UYU, which is his last name, which is pretty damn clever. So You Dive Deep podcast. And hopefully you check him out. Me and Josh are both going to be on there as well. So we will fire links. Links are going to go. We're going to have links for everything that he does that he wants to share with you. We will have in all of our descriptions. So keep an eye out And we're going to have him back. And I hope you guys had a good laugh and have a good rest of your day.
Bye, everyone.
Guys.
You think I'm sick? Well, the only disease I've got is modern life. A schnut-busting gauntlet of inefficiency and misery that's one long parade of letdowns, put-downs, trickle-downs, shutouts, freeze-outs, sellouts, numbnuts, nick-and-puts, and nimrods. All making every day as much fun as waxing a flaming Pontiac with your tongue. Or even if you do luck into the possibility of some fleeting pleasure, like, say, if some nymphomaniac telephone operators with the muscle control of Romanian mat slappers agree to a little strip air hockey, it'll be over before it starts. Because some vowel-lacking, feta-reeking cab jockey slams his checker up your hatchback, and the cab is owned by some pinata spanker from a Santeria cult in Wakalpa who starts shaking chicken bones at you and gives you a boil on your neck so big, all it needs is Michael Jordan's autograph to make it complete. And even with all this, I still drag my sorry butt off the ceiling every morning and stick my face in the reaping machine for one more day, knowing when it's time to flash the cosmic card key at those pearly gates, I won't be in the coffin anyway, because some underhanded undertaker sold my heart, pancreas, and other assorted good and plenty to that same Santeria cult. So does anybody really wonder why anybody is hanging on to sanity by the atoms on the tips of their fingernails while life dirty dances on their digits? And is it really any wonder that I seem deranged?